morning, and welcome to 9 to noon. Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell joins the fray. He joins the mix at 11 o'clock, and there we get to talk about teams desperately trying to take the fun out of Kevin O'Connell's passing game. Good morning, and courtesy of Sukup and Sukup.com, 9 to noon is at Vikings headquarters for this terrific Tuesday into a game against the Tennessee Titans. And I'm Paul Allen. On-site producer is Eric Nordquist. Maxwell Fuller is guiding the great ship Love Covenant at FM 100.3 KFAN, and he does so from the 651 Carpets Plus studios. Are we stuck when teams constantly rush 3 or 4 players and drop the rest into coverage? Split safeties, though, like 20 yards from the line of scrimmage. Ben Gessling, who will be our second guest today, had an interesting tweet on that yesterday, into which we will dive. And the Scribe also has a story in the Star Tribune today on patience and precision and Sam Darnold and some things that are expected or required or preferred into a game against the Tennessee Titans. And speaking of the Tennessee Titans, here from Vikings headquarters, you know, we here in the TCO radio studio, where Kevin O'Connell joins us at 11 o'clock, the Vikings Entertainment Network, second to none in the National Football League, they record the one-on-one with Kevin O'Connell. And then they drop it at Vikings.com shortly after said confab between yours truly and the head coach. So when you watch that, after listening to it, you will see a Minnesota Vikings helmet and a Tennessee Titans helmet. So the first question presented today, 9 to noon, is do the Tennessee Titans have the worst helmets in the National Football League? Just go ahead and take a peek at it right here, the con.
Yeah.
Behind us, we see a navy blue helmet with a circle and some form of a T in the middle of the circle.
Yeah.
There are 3 stars around the T. Now, the T is half gray and half white. The red stars are to the left and right and atop said T. And off the T, you have a flame. You have a powder blue flame that has red and gray mixed into it. And I can't exactly figure out what they're doing with this helmet for the Tennessee Titans. So the first question, is this the worst helmet in the National Football League? And good morning.
Good morning. It's one of, and I'm scrambling in my brain right now. I was talking to a Viking security guy actually before I rolled up here, and we were talking about bad uniforms and just kind of going through. He's kind of in the same vein as I am, where I think simplicity matters. Simplicity counts. There's a beauty to just old college uniforms where there were no names on them or anything, just numbers. The older Vikings jersey with the white stripes. Yeah. The throwbacks that the Vikings have come out with this year are beautiful. Just in that vein from a uniform standpoint, similarly from a helmet, that's kind of ugly. Now, I'm trying to find out as I search, the 3 stars in the Tennessee Titans logo represent the state's grand divisions. Oh. So, and then simultaneously they're trying to separate themselves, I'm sure, from, of course, the Houston Oilers, right, where they emigrated from. So, I think it's an absolutely ridiculously stupid looking logo. Did you see the?
I don't like the logo.
Did you see the alternative helmet that the Ravens had?
No.
Yeah, you'll get a chance to check it out. I guess.
See the alternate jerseys, helmets, stuff that they don't count in the equation. Like what the Texans rolled out on Sunday Night Football. Okay. I mean, the red blur up and down the field, but see, like, that's not their standard uniform. I thought those Jags helmets that they wore on Sunday, the matte white helmets they wore for the first time, those were pretty fresh.
They were pretty slick.
Right. But, like the standard helmets, just the standard helmets. What about the Browns? They go logo-less.
No, the Browns are good logo-less. I like that. Again, simplicity. Mm-hmm. And everybody knows who they are.
Yeah.
No, the Titans logo is, as I'm thinking about it more and more, I'm pretty confident that is the worst logo in the entire NFL.
Right.
And, I mean, well, when they made that switch in the 90s to the upgraded the Patriots thing, I wonder if they were having questions about that themselves. Remember the old Patriots logo?
Oh, Pat the Patriot.
Absolutely.
It's Pat the Patriot.
And then they changed to the more modernized version of what you see today. No, that's pure ugliness behind you right there, to be honest. And hopefully,
it's just got a lot going on, doesn't it?
Their team plays like their helmet, grand divisions and all, and end up with the Vikings being 8-2.
With the question at this moment, are the Minnesota Vikings stuck when teams constantly are rushing 3 and 4 players and dropping the rest into coverage, which would be split safeties, and they're like 20 yards from the line of scrimmage? The answer is no, because the Minnesota Vikings are 3-0 versus the teams that did that the most: the New York Jets, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the points of pressure, the pressure points provided by Sukup and Sukup.com, fall on as we move forward into the second half of the season, the points of pressure fall on the head coach, the quarterback, and at this stage, Justin Jefferson. And like, at least that's my opinion. And like the scribe Ben Gessling wrote, patience is the operative word here. It's part of the equation, especially with number 18. And here's why. Teams have yet to double TJ Hawkinson. All right. And Darnold, Hawkinson, O'Connell, and everybody involved are making teams pay. Aaron Jones, when it comes to the passing game, Aaron Jones is never doubled. Jordan Addison rarely gets the vice. He rarely gets the double team. So O'Connell and staff they're a floor above us right now at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, mixing potions. And the question would be, what goes into said concoctions? One thing that I always have liked, and I'm not sure how much they do it or have done it this year. I'm not sure if they're going to do this moving forward. And I'm also not trying to be an elite Don Coryell mind here. Not trying to pretend like I know anything about football scheming or play designing. But Justin Jefferson out of the backfield. What do we think of Justin Jefferson out of the backfield? Darnold shotgun, C.J. Ham to the left for protection. Old J.J. say to the right, flare him out right flat, and watch those Tennessee Titans, copyright meat sauce, S their peas. And good morning.
Good morning. How long does it take before you can start making variations of things that you've done earlier in the season work for you later in the season? It was I believe it was the opener against the Giants in which we marveled about that halo, I believe is what you called it, that
Nailer.
halo motion. And they had no idea, the Giants secondary had no idea how to handle that. Meanwhile, Jalen Nailor's wide open in the end zone for a touchdown.
There we go.
We've seen, there are a lot of things. Justin Jefferson does just about everything at an uber high level. Mm-hmm. I have to say this, though. It doesn't feel to me, if we're just quick wide receiver outs or getting him in motion, maybe if you're getting him on the run pre-snap and you're getting him in space where he's moving forward, maybe that's something that can work. I don't necessarily like those quick passes right out to the boundary to JJ, and then he's got 1 or 2 guys to beat. You get a quick 5 yards, that's cool. But in the end, in terms of the best use of JJ, if he is in the backfield, he's either throwing it or maybe he's a decoy to something else to draw coverage off of others.
There you go.
But I'm curious, as good as some of those gotchas looked early in the season, is part of what they're doing a floor above us, is it putting little nuances and changing maybe foot positioning here, there, and anywhere to maybe bring some of those back into the mix moving forward. The offense needs it.
Well, another fair question in this equation, and because Jacksonville could not get to Sam Darnold and sack him, they pressured him a few times. They didn't hit him much, and the elusiveness of Sam Darnold by just his nature in that he's naturally good at it, that plays into the equation too. But can Tennessee, we'll start with Tennessee, then Chicago, then Arizona, and the rest of the rubes the rest of the way. If you're going to take this approach where you're going to drop 7 and drop 8, can your 3 or 4 beat my 5 protecting consistently? Because if they can't, Sam, the man on the fan, if he becomes patient, TJ, Josh Oliver, Aaron Jones, Jordan Addison, it's not they could be sitting on big ones. They should be sitting on big ones now that we've seen what we've seen from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And again, the scribe, about 45 minutes from now, will explain this tweet he had yesterday from Next Gen Stats, and it's dead accurate, about the Jaguars' utilization of split safeties. And those safeties were 15, 20 yards from the line of scrimmage. A team has not done that to any team in the National Football League with the frequency with which Jacksonville did it for at least 6 years. So what we saw against Jacksonville and what Justin, O'Connell, Darnold, and the rest of the cast faced was abnormal.
Right.
So it comes down to, can your 3 or 4 beat my 5 protecting? And if you're going to vice up this guy with 3 or 4, well, then that means Hawkinson needs to go for 120. Jordan Addison needs to go for 120 plus. Aaron Jones needs some nice long receptions out of the backfield. Yeah, go ahead and double, triple, and quadruple the kid and watch the others eat the con.
Yeah, well, that's okay, but then that comes down to where you're putting pressure on the QB here, because in that game on Sunday, PA, you had a 17-play, 76-yard drive in the first half, 10 minutes of possession.
Damn.
And it ended in an interception because we wanted to dagger them.
Right.
In the second half, we had 2 field goal drives, one 14-play, 72 yards. That was 8 minutes off the clock. A 16-play, 68-yard drive took 7.5 minutes off the clock. If they're going to do that, I'm 100% with you. But then that means that Jordan Addison, that we're not trying to get him those gaudy stats that you're talking about, trying to throw deep balls where the safety has better coverage in that spot, and maybe Addison needed to bring it a bit inside, and maybe the ref was playing center field, and he played into the way Addison was running the route as well.
Yeah, he needs to get out of there.
He needs to, instead of having 4 targets, 1 catch and 4 yard, he needs to have 10 targets and catches for 6, 7, 8, 9 type of yards. Get these guys running across the middle of the field.
Right.
And so when you look at those interceptions from Sunday, if they are going to continue to play that, okay, well then the QB needs to take advantage of that. And I thought at times we did. I thought, the chain moving productivity from TJ, that's exactly what we needed, man. It was 8 and 72. It was absolutely beautiful. But taking advantage of those and really being patient even in the red zone, being patient even when you're gripping a bit, because you threw an early interception that deflected off of your highlight wide receiver. Being patient and just taking what they give you, as elementary and rudimentary as that sounds, that's the key to battling this. And then you know what they'll do? They'll adjust. And then we'll adjust and we'll be ready over the top.
Justin may have to wait a second for the home runs to come. Yeah, my belief is he's absolutely cool with that. Consider this. Despite all of this, with what we're talking about with the doubles and the triples and the quadruples, and the bracketing of Justin Jefferson, and you see, when it's with Sam Darnold, I see or hear the term regression to the mean, for Sam. Well, I don't know what the mean is. Somebody needs to define to me what the mean is for Sam Darnold, because his mean is being established with the 2024 Minnesota Vikings. But consider this. The Minnesota Vikings are tied with the Baltimore Ravens and San Francisco 49ers for the NFL lead for completions of 20 yards or more. So it's there, but patience and, as the scribe wrote, precision are required. Consider that. Baltimore might go to the Super Bowl. Niners are a Super Bowl candidate the minute the schedule comes out. The Minnesota Vikings are tied for the NFL lead with the Ravens and the Niners for completions of 20 yards or more down the field. So it's really important, and also it's really important getting around this from 7-2. That really makes a big difference. You're trying to get around what could be a significant problem moving forward, a problem that is absolutely solvable, but you do so from 7-2.
Is that a good thing that within the construct of this offense, and there's more to talk about with the scribe and his article and just continue to analyze this, is that a good thing that the Vikings, I mean, you look at a game like Sunday in which they dominated the time of possession. They dominated it by, again, the patience of shorter gains. And you have not the 97-yard completion. We love that. All those 20-plus ones. You got Josh Oliver up the seam. There are so many good things to see and talk about. And you love those highlight plays. But in the construct of this offense, if we're going to be better in the red zone, if we're going to be better overall in controlling the clock, maybe shooting for it all in some of those moments versus taking those 8 and 9 yard completions, maybe that's the route in the short term.
Perhaps, but fixing and discussing all of this from 7-2 is first and foremost.
It's not a bad spot to be in.
Right. Winning is first and foremost. The peacocking with the play calls and the gotchas and the gritties, those are secondary, at least for now. It's death for the adversary by 1,000 cuts for now, and the knives over here being sharpened as we speak. TimberTech and TimberTech.com. What's on deck 9 to noon includes Lavelle, Neal III, columnist for the Star Tribune, around the corner, followed by the Scribe and Kevin O'Connell, coach of the Minnesota Vikings, joins us here from the TCO radio studio at about 11 o'clock. You're listening to 9 to noon, produced on site by Eric Nordquist, and I'm Paul Allen. Max Fuller has the cash thing, and good morning, Max.
Hey, buenos dias, PA. The Fan and 2 men in a junk truck want to give you a shot to put $1,000 in your hand with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword credit at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. That's keyword credit. Enter it now at KFAN.com. Tune in to 9 to noon every Tuesday as PA broadcasts live from TCO to talk all things purple. TCO Tuesdays are powered by Sukup Manufacturing.
Here comes the columnist, Lavelle Neal III, columnist for the Star Tribune, and he's ballyhooed. Follow him on Twitter as 9 to noon does, please, at Lavelle Neal. And there is Chicago Bears related news that just popped within the last hour. And
what timing?
Lavelle, Lavelle is a Chicago Bears fan from the south side of Chicago. That's where his passion rests when it comes to not journalistically covering teams. And the Chicago Bears have fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. What is it? 9 games into the equation? Is the team 4-4 or 4-5?
4-5 now.
Okay, so 9 games into the equation, they go John DeFilippo on it. That was the Vikings offensive coordinator in 2018. Didn't even make the season. Kevin Stefanski replaced him later in the season. DeFilippo was fired. And now Shane Waldron has been fired. Your thoughts on that, and good morning.
Well, something had to happen. I mean, you scored 3 points at the crib against a lowly New England Patriots team, and you go 2 weeks without scoring a touchdown. And something has to happen. There's been grumblings about Waldron since the beginning of the year. He's not an alpha. He doesn't have command in the room when he speaks. Just too much of a passive personality, and it's come to a head. Caleb Williams has regressed over the last 2 weeks, which is weird because everything was pointing up going into the bye week. And since the bye, it's been a disaster for him.
Normally, teams come out of the bye better and cohesive and collaborative.
Yeah, we were all wondering what the hell were the Bears doing during the bye week. And it's some of it's his fault, too, because there's checkdowns that he just passes up because I think he's trying to play hero ball. He wants to throw the frozen rope. He wants to throw in the tight windows, and he's trying to prove all this.
Well, that wouldn't be Waldron's fault.
No, but... And here's the other thing too. You know, Paul, sometimes when there's a big problem, that sometimes someone has to take the fall. Waldron has some faults, but the offensive line is not good. And the general manager used to play offensive line, and he still has a fixed offensive line. On Sunday against New England, there was only one starter, Tevin Jenkins, on the field. The other guys were backups, and Tevin got injured during the game. Yeah. So at one point, they had 5 new offensive linemen on the field getting housed. You know?
So are you pining for the days of Cody Whitehair and James Daniels?
There was more stability there.
All right.
You know, Charles Leno, what's happened to him? I think he went to Washington and has forged a nice, solid career.
Right.
So It's really depressing because you look at the skill position players that they have. You look at DeAndre Swift, and you look at Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, who looks pissed off every week.
Rome Odunze
for not getting the ball. It's just bad. It's a solid defense, and they've played fairly well the last 2 weeks without Brisker and Kyler Gordon because they've been injured. And I'm a little concerned about Brisker and this concussion. This is going on 4 weeks now.
Damn.
So, but the offense, first and foremost, has been a train wreck. It's been a disaster.
Yeah.
And that was like, as I've said, that's one of the worst regular season games I've watched as a Bears fan.
Really?
Yes.
And you've watched Bears football for a long time.
Since the early 70s. Since
Damn.
Abe Gibran.
Well, perhaps the prophetic nature of Jackson Smith and Jigba, a wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks, should have been taken more seriously. For 9 to Noon Believes, he was interviewed on Radio Row before the most recent Super Bowl.
He was, yeah.
And shortly after Shane Waldron had been hired as offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. Now, what would Smith and Jigba have to do or say about Shane Waldron? Well, he was the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Super Chickens when Smith and Jigba came into the National Football League. And Nordo found this months ago, and we are going to regurgitate it because I believe Jackson Smith and Jigba was asked, what do you think of Shane Waldron? Like the way he designs plays and crafts plays, and is he schematically sound, and does he have a good personality, and how does he handle conflict and stuff like that? And
I did forward the audio to Max if he's able to find that in his email.
Hey.
And see if it's airable, because I forgot exactly how he framed it up. But yeah, hey, what do you got to say about Shane Waldron there? Jackson Smith and Jigba just finishing his rookie season with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
What can I say? And it's the classic when you repeat the question.
Yeah.
As you're scrambling feverishly to come up with an answer.
Yep.
He's a nice guy.
That's the best.
You can say that.
I believe Maxwell has the audio 3-2.
Bears fans are super interested about the offensive coordinator coming in, Shane Waldron. What can you tell them about who they just hired to
like
try to get this offense where it needs to go?
This is live?
Yeah. We're not live.
I'm playing. Good luck to y'all. I mean, he's a great person, great offensive coordinator. I was very lucky to have him my first year. Learned a lot from him. I think him and Justin will mesh well, and adding more guys around him, I think it would be great. So we'll see.
It took him a while.
Is this live?
There was such a pause as he was
Because they hadn't drafted Caleb yet.
No.
Max, can we please hear that again? 3-2.
Jesus.
The offensive coordinator coming in, Shane Waldron. What can you tell them about who they just hired to try to get this offense where it needs to go?
This is live?
Let's go.
We're not live. We're not
I'm
live.
playing.
Oh, good Lord.
He's a nice guy.
And then he eventually got into Buckeye raised, media trained.
Yeah.
He's a great offensive coordinator. And then he's trying to think, is it Justin in Chicago? Yeah. He's going to be great with Justin out in the Windy City.
Well, so Shane Waldron, I mean, he made half the season. All right. So maybe he's the fall guy. Maybe there's more involved, but Shane Waldron is out. Any idea, like, who's elevated or who calls the plays? Eberflus is of the defensive variety. He doesn't call the defense, though, does he?
I think he has a lot of. I don't think he makes the calls, but he has a great influence on the game plan.
Yeah, so
that's what sports has.
So, like, say Flores, head coach, Miami, might have called the plays, but big influence over the defense. So, like, I wonder what you're going to do here with play calling.
Passing game coordinator Thomas Brown will be elevated to calling plays for the Chicago Bears.
Thomas Brown, you said.
Thomas Brown.
Thomas Brown has some experience calling plays for the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young.
Oh, come on.
For real? You can't be serious with that.
This keeps getting better. What's happening to your baby team? Such high expectations into the year. Now you're firing first-year coordinators and hiring guys that are ruining Bryce Young.
Dude, I was texting someone that we know in Chicago after the game, and he was like, it looks like the players have checked out on Eberflus like they did on Mark Trestman.
Oh, damn.
I was like, oh,
Mark
no.
Trestman bomb,
yes,
huh?
I know. How about that? He also said Luke Getsy was way better than than Waldron.
My goodness.
That's saying a lot because Getsy just got fired from the Raiders.
Hey, Thomas Brown was the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers in Bryce Young's rookie year, where halfway through the season his yards per attempt was 4.2.
Right.
Wow. Okay. All right, Thomas Brown.
You can't bring in someone from outside.
Well, why not?
How? They don't know any of the personnel.
That's a good point.
You have to reinstall their
The mic's
their
up there, Lavelle.
You have to reinstall their own offense. Well, I'm sorry.
You're getting excited.
I spent the entire game at Allery's last night, leaned back in my chair in disbelief.
And by the way, Lavelle's inclusion is provided by Allery's in St. Paul. Tell us a little bit about what they do at Allery's.
Yeah, free parking and wild shuttles, if I'm correct.
Wild shuttles, concerts at Excel, Saints games, Loons games now. So the shuttles. In fact, I'm going to the Wild game with some friends on Thursday, and we're going to shuttle from Allery's to partake in the game.
Is it getting to the point at Allery's where they'll turn on Major League Soccer in lieu of having the Bears on a screen at Allery's?
No, not yet.
I'm sure they have enough TVs for everybody.
Yeah, it's clear Thomas Brown's been coordinating soccer offenses all of his life.
I'm surprised someone didn't throw some on the TV yesterday. It was and the 9 sacks, 9.
Yeah, 15 in the last
2. 9, 6, 9, 7. 9 against a New England team who I believe had a total of 8 sacks over their previous 6 games or something like that.
So how's Caleb handling this? How's DJ Moore handling this? The rookie Rome Odunze. How are they handling this?
DJ still looks like Powdy McPowderson sometimes when he's not getting the ball thrown his way.
Really?
So that's got me worried. I just read that text from Silverman out of Chicago. He's a radio guy. He
Sylvie.
He said something.
Did you see his tweet from his playground in his backyard?
No.
He has a swing for his kids or something in his backyard. And it's the first time I've seen this, but he said, got to go back to the swing. So he's on a swing for 3.5 minutes. I mean, he let the Bears have it, and let Waldron have it. I can't say I've ever heard anything like that. He's dropping F-bombs, and he's making good points, too. He was making some really good points, but it was something has to change. He didn't call for the head of anybody, but clearly somebody has lost a job.
Well, he needs a hot tub, PA, because, there you go. Win or lose.
Shut up. I regret that.
He needs the hot tub takes, the little glow. You're very calm.
Yeah, well, here's why I regret hot takes from the hot tub the other night, because now I'm scratching my leg. And
Isaac wasn't there.
I need Khan to scratch my back. It's just like I'm itchy right now. So
what the heck?
That's okay.
I've scratched his back before.
Silverman tweeted that he talked to people in the organization. There's some players who are requesting Tyson Bagent be installed as a starter.
What?
Things are pear-shaped in Chi-Town right now.
Well, that's what I'm curious, because everything...
But you don't fire a coordinator and bench the quarterback.
Yeah, that's insanity.
You bench the quarterback, give the coordinator a game or two, then fire him.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the process. Yeah. But now it's getting to the point where every bit of Caleb Williams' body language is being scrutinized.
What if you missed on Caleb? Damn.
Yeah, what if Caleb's a problem? Is Caleb a problem?
Well, you should have taken Jaden Daniels. I mean, at least as of now.
Well, as of now, yeah, you would say that.
But I mean, Drake May came into, as you would say, the crib and outplayed him. And we're over here with the big horse in the barn, kicking down the barn, trying to get out there and show what he can do. The anti-Vike has Bo Nix going well. What if you messed this whole thing up?
Well, I gotta say that Caleb Williams was unquestionably the top quarterback prospect coming out of the draft.
Yeah, just ask him and his dad.
No one tried to put up argument for Jaden Daniels. No one did. But I knew some people who watched him play and understand where how he played. But I
talked to Jordan Addison during organized team activities about Caleb Williams. He made him sound like a combo platter between Tom Brady, Joe Montana, and Johnny Unitas.
Did he really?
He's unbelievable.
The other thing that worried me in yesterday's game is that there's a couple times he got knocked down, and the opposing team picked him up off the ground, not his teammates.
No, see.
I was like, okay, what's going on with that?
I was going to bring that up to you because you know it's bad when during the course of the battle, the adversary is feeling sorry for you. Caleb's down. He's writhing in pain over something, but it wasn't super bad. 33, I believe, is who it was. Waited for him, helped him up, and then dusted him off.
Yeah.
And he plays for the Patriots.
Yeah.
He's feeling sorry for the Covenant.
Even the mildly emasculating helmet tap. Just gotta tap him. It's gonna be okay, Caleb.
Right?
No, it's super ugly.
It reminded me of the Netflix opening scene in Quarterback when Kirk Cousins got slammed to the ground. He's writhing in pain on the ground, and the guy just goes, "You'll be all right."
Who said that? Deron Payne?
I think it was. It might have been.
It was Deron
the
Payne.
Washington game when he had to leave. He had to leave for a play, and Mullins came in because he just got crushed right in the ribs.
You'll be all right.
No big deal. I mean, you roll into next week and you just go NFC North, NFC North, NFC North, the next three for your Bears.
I've never.
What do they got?
Oh, it's time to start playing the division now. We play the Packers. This is Packer week.
Oh, so they got
I think it's Packers,
week.
Vikings, Lions
At Soldier Field.
Yes.
Yeah, but see, you got no juicy A-Rod doing the flex like, I'm beating you 13 times in a row here or something like that. Nah, man, you got a new offensive coordinator, the guy who did such a good job with Bryce Young. I mean, it has to be super hype right now.
Well, Matt LaFleur has never lost to the Bears. I think he's undefeated. So that's the next streak I have to.
That's tough.
Have to deal with. So
yeah, but we have to consider the consternation within that covenant, which I have felt since the minute I heard Preston Smith was traded, and then we learned why he was traded. Well, this is an underrated bit for Green Bay. You had one of their best defensive players beg out of the covenant.
Yeah.
Okay, he begged out. I don't want to play here anymore. I don't like what the coordinator does. I don't like how things are working out for me / the defense, so trade me.
he would be either 3-4, right?
Well, he goes to Pittsburgh, gets a sack first game.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's questionable because the Green Bay is a good team. He jumped ship from a good team.
Oh, well, right. But, I mean, how cohesive is this covenant?
Yeah.
If you got people begging out into the bye.
Sunday's going to be rough because Packer fans like coming to Allery's to rub it into the Bears. And now, the bar around the corner camp is a Packers bar. So we have a traveling trophy now where
what is this?
Whatever bar wins the game gets to display that trophy until the next game.
Sounds like it's been around the corner though for several years. You mentioned,
yeah.
When you get that trophy back.
I don't know when we're getting it back. So.
It doesn't look like it's happening.
No,
Sunday,
but back to Preston Smith for 8 seconds. He wanted out of the Green Bay Packers organization so badly, he forfeited his only off week of the season. He forfeited his bye so that he could leave and play during the bye.
Wow. So
and then he got a sack.
So he's going to play in 18 games this year?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, wow.
18? What are you talking about? They're going to the playoffs, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Man, did you see the teardrop touchdown pass that Russell Wilson threw to it wasn't Pickens, was it? It was
was it Mike Williams?
Maybe Mike Williams.
Oh, the 32-yarder to win the game. Hey.
Yeah. That was beautiful. He's throwing the ball very well.
Yeah, they got Russ rolling over there.
Russ is HOF. Lavelle Neal III, columnist, Star Tribune, StarTribune.com. So let's land the plane on this moribund topic like this. What's good with the Bears? I mean, you watch every game, you watch every snap. What's good with the squad? There has to be something good. You found a way to win 4 games.
The defense is still pretty good. I mean, they only gave them 19 points yesterday. They've given up more than 20 points once in the last 12 or 13 games. So, and like
I'm being serious when I say this. Raise your hands or jump into the microphone if you can name a New England Patriots wide receiver.
Well, I mean, Jalen Polk. That's the only one I know.
Jalen Polk. Well, the rookie?
Who the hell is that?
He's a rookie.
Yeah,
I think
young
he's a
kid.
rookie.
N'Keal Harry's not there, is he?
Well, he caught the touchdown against your crappy squad, Lavelle.
Damn.
Drake May, though.
Do they still have Devontae Parker, or is he in Miami?
I don't
think he might be retired.
Nelson Aguilar's with somebody.
Aguilar, I don't know. I don't even know their tight end. Usually you recognize the tight ends.
Right, and you can, and it's hard to pronounce the preferred running back's name, period.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Right, so I mean, they just got, you gave up touchdowns to that team, or touchdown.
Yeah, great work.
But the defense is what?
The defense is functional.
What about Montez Sweat? He's still playing well?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it's weird because when he was hurt, last week, the run game really so. That's the other thing. Andrew Billings, who's our run-stopping defensive tackle, out with a torn pec.
Wow.
So they did have some success running the ball up the middle.
Didn't Kendrick Bourne get us when he was with the Niners?
Oh, Kendrick Bourne plays for the Pats.
Yeah,
that's right.
Wasn't he in San Fran at one point?
Yeah, I think you might be mixing him up with the use check gotcha at U.S. Bank Stadium.
Austin Hooper, though.
Your 6-9-1 Blackhawks beat the 10-2-1 Wild. Is the Hawks? Are they onto something? Are they precipitously better here with Connor Bedard?
Paul, you can't fall down when you're already on the ground, and so they were. It was rock bottom hockey last year.
That's going to be my next tattoo.
As they took their lumps in Bedard's rookie year, so they're playing a little bit better. They got Marcus Foligno's brother playing a role there. So they're showing signs of coming around, and they got some young talent. And, it's better. I'm not saying they're ready to rock and roll and make the playoffs and be a threat here, but it's definitely better than a year ago. And that was a surprising loss. I think the Wild have Montreal on Thursday.
Montreal.
They do.
And then we
have a box in the box at Tree on Thursday.
And then they have the hated Dallas Stars Saturday or Sunday. I want to say Sunday. So I counted the Blackhawks game as a W for the Wild. So that killed my prognostication. But I also said the Vikings may not want to be able. I said the Vikings may lose a game by a field goal because of their new kicker, and look what he did.
Is the pecking order of favoritism within the Windy City, the second city sports teams wise? Does it go like this? Bears 1, Cubs 2, Hawks 3, Bulls 4, Shy Sox 5.
For me?
No, like if you were to speak for all the fan bases.
I would say Cubs would probably be number 2. Bulls would be 3.
So Bears would be 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Bulls above the Hawks.
Yes.
Bulls above the Hawks, though.
Don't forget, they were the team in the 90s, dog. People haven't forgotten that.
I get that.
The 90s.
But you got Kane and Taves in 3 cups since then.
And the skeletal remains of Lonzo Ball they're trying to push on us for a 19 straight year.
Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey's good.
Yeah.
Josh Giddey's playing well for your squad.
They let
Vucevic.
They let the grandmaster of the mid-range, DeMar DeRozan, go to the Clippers. He's with the Clippers?
No, he's with the Kings.
Sacramento.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So I was right state, wrong
Does
team.
Billy Donovan still coach that team?
Yes.
Billy Donovan, though.
He does.
Bringing that college flair, isn't he?
So Vucevic has got to be like
Vucevic
32.
is nice.
He's got to be about 34 years old now,
It
right?
doesn't matter.
He's a 20 and 10. Just chalk him in before the tip-off.
And he hits 2 or 3 threes a game for your baby Bulls.
Yeah, so it would be Bears. When the Bears are winning, there's no town in America like Chicago.
Right.
The third string player on the 85 Bears is still not paying for dinner.
Yeah.
Because of what they brought.
Well, see, Sylvie, as part of his Mark Silverman, Sylvie from Waddle and Sylvie, maybe the most popular sports show in the city of Chicago. They're both incredibly good at what they do.
Correct.
But Sylvie, with that Sunday night tweet from the swing set that I saw, when he wasn't dropping F-bombs and or getting into the DMs of Shane Waldron, he was saying he couldn't remember the last time Bears fans booed that loudly. And then he's like, look, I've been here forever. This is a smart fan base. They just don't boo just to boo. They boo when they know it's bad because they know what they're watching and what they're talking about,
Right. I'm sorry to change the subject. Thomas Brown is from the Sean McVay coaching tree.
Uh-oh.
He was with the Rams.
Worked real well.
Trees need to be trimmed.
I know. Just ask Brandon Staley. Okay, it's 9:43 in the neighborhood. You're listening to 9 to Noon, provided by Sukup and Sukup.com from the Vikings headquarters. Lavelle Neal III, columnist for the Strib, rejoins us for another segment after this.
Don't miss out on the Friday football feast at Buffalo Wild Wings in Crystal this week. Join PA and Charge for nonstop football talk leading up to the Vikings game against the Titans this Sunday. Plus great food and drinks and your chance to win great prizes. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
This is your breaking news central, the Fan and KFAN.com. Welcome back to 9 to Noon, at least for this listening audience. For those who had not looked at sports news this morning, we shared that the Chicago Bears have fired their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, 9 games into the equation in his first season as offensive coordinator for the Chicago Football Bears. Now, a friend of the radio shows, somebody I and Lavelle Neal III, columnist for the Strib, have known for quite some time. It's reported Dave St. Peter has stepped down as president of the Minnesota Twins. Derek Falvey is going to take over as president. Thad Levine, I believe he was let go weeks, if not months ago. So catching you off guard here because you just saw it. You haven't texted or called anybody for the proverbial background. But Dave St. Peter, longtime president of the Minnesota Twins, stepping down. What do you think?
One of the greatest rises in sports administration history.
Yeah.
Dave St. Peter went from operating a Twins pro shop in Burnsville, I believe, to becoming one of the more powerful sports figures in town.
Right. Bismarck native.
Exactly. You did not know the quintessential Twins logo was Dave Peter extending a hand to shake it. He was that type of guy.
Oh, wow.
When you knew about the Twins, you knew St. Peter.
Right.
I had a conversation with him a month ago, and he said he was contemplating his next step. And this definitely was on the plate. So,
wow.
And you connect the dots here, Paul and Nordo. The decision of the family to sell the team, this is all intertwined.
Yeah.
This also shows you that, yes, how long they have been contemplating this. If St. Peter knew a month ago what was coming and decided this may be a good time to tap out, that tells you how long the family's been deliberating over selling the team. So we're seeing a monumental change in the leadership and of this organization.
Well, he has been close with the Pohlads for decades.
Yes.
And, I'm not going to go down the 3 to 6:30 country club road here because I just don't know enough about it. But, I mean, he clearly felt comfortable working for and or with the Pohlads. So now for Dave St. Peter to step away from this job, move into an advisory role, perhaps a partner has been found here. Perhaps somebody purchasing the squad. Maybe this is like low-key intel without sharing secrets that they're close to like selling a portion or selling the squad.
That would be a little quick for me if they already have someone lined up. But at the same time, knowing how the Pohlad family has done business, they're usually pretty calculated and usually structured. So they might have already had an idea of who may put a bid in for the squad once they announced that they were willing to sell. So that's totally possible. I still think we're probably a few months away from that being determined. But this is Dave's going to be the strategic advisor to the organization. Jeremy Zoll is going to be elevated to general manager. The Twins hired Zoll away from the Dodgers about 7 or 8 years ago, right when Falvey and Levine took over. So,
did Levine get fired, or did he go to another squad?
He moved on to try something different. We don't know what that different is yet.
I see.
So his contract was up. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I believe that's right. Yeah.
Well, it just shows you how quickly the worm can turn in pro sports and in business, because we're a year and change removed from bragging about Kevin Gausman tipping pitches, and we know what they are, and we're beating him. Royce White's hitting massive postseason home runs. And then now you got like Kirilloff retiring, Pohlads looking to sell, Dave St. Peter stepping down, Levine's out, Falvey elevated. I mean, that's a lot for this covenant.
Yeah, it's been an incredible run of news, franchise-altering news for this organization. So, when I first got on the beat, Dave St. Peter was like the second person I called to introduce myself. So that goes back 20 plus years. And I kept telling Dave, I think we're the same age. I said, when I grow up, I want to be a sports executive like you are, because he had the best of both worlds, Twins fan as a kid. This is my book, but Dave St. Peter, his father was a big Yankees fan, so they load up the Town and Country station wagon, with the one with the third seat that faced backwards. And they would ride in from North Dakota to watch the Yankees play the Twins at Metropolitan Stadium.
That's sweet.
So his connection with the Twins has gone decades and decades and decades.
Before you depart, the book. Name of the book and where people can purchase it, potentially for like a Christmas gift.
Thank you for asking that. Yeah, the franchise, The Curated History of the Minnesota Twins, was released in June. There's another promotional campaign getting started because the holiday season is coming.
Yep.
And I will tell you this too, a month ago, I was selling books to people who are already collecting Christmas presents. So if you see me on the street, I may have one in the back of the car I can sell you, or you can go to barnesandnoble.com or go to Amazon and order off there.
That's sweet.
Are you going to do potentially now an update? Because, since this thing has been published, about the now potentially the post-Pohlad, post-St. Peter, the generational shift that's happening.
Yeah, what he's saying is you picked a really good time to release the book.
Yeah, I gotta know the 5,000 words I gotta write now. Chapter 23.
All right. Lastly, our best 90 seconds to 2 minutes on this. The Wolves are at Portland this evening, then at Sacramento later this week. The team cannot seem to catch stride. Not a bad team, not a great team at this moment, not in the class of the Dallas Mavericks at this moment. With all due respect, they can't seem to catch stride. If Chris Finch joins 9 to noon tomorrow at 9:15, And he plays 8 guys. I mean, it's this early in the season. I'm just not used to seeing minutes put on not only the stars, but the core 5.
Right.
And then the 3 off the bench. He has a short bench. They can't catch stride. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, I think every season stands on its own. And even if you bring back everybody on the same team the next year, things are going to be different because guys are getting better, guys are maturing, guys' games are rounding out. And now you throw in new players into the mix, like Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
And it's trying to mesh. You know, I'm looking at Jaden McDaniels averaging 9.9 points a game. I'm going, dude, you got to start scoring a little bit more. Or they may put Dante in the starting lineup, you know, because you can't. For all the defense that he brings.
Yeah.
I don't think you could be a starting player in the NBA averaging 9.9 unless your name is Dennis Rodman or Ben Wallace.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
hey.
But you know,
How'd that feel?
It was my heel, not the toe.
It wasn't your right knee?
No.
Damn.
Randall brings a different type of skill set. I think he's averaging 4.7 assists a game. So there's a playmaking aspect that's trying to fit in. Dante's bringing in a little bit, and too bad the kids aren't getting much time. Terrence Shannon Jr. and Dillingham, you know.
I mean, no time.
Joe Ingles isn't playing that much either, is he?
No, Joe Ingles might be all done.
So this may expand or be in kind of an amoeba that kind of grows and gets bigger or smaller as the season goes along. But Chris Finch said on media day he's probably going to need about 20 to 25 games to figure out what he's got. So we're still in that mode there.
Oh, wow. So, that's right. You did say that.
Yep.
Good seeing you, my man. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Lavelle Neal III, columnist, Star Tribune, at Lavelle Neal via Twitter. Around the corner, his cohort with the Scribe, Ben Gessling, who covers the Minnesota Vikings, joins us from the Vikings headquarters on a Talker Tuesday provided by Sukup and Sukup.com. We'll be right back.